Hey there, Internet. How's it going? I'm your boy John from John Grave Show. I'm doing a little bit better this week, especially with this next video that I'm making. Apparently, today I sort of felt like doing something different. I felt like basically just letting you know, some animes that I basically just started picking up, and just am planning on. I saw like an episode. I saw one episode of like two new anime. Well, not new, but animes that are new to me, and most likely I kind of just wanted to like give my opinion on a few of them. Well, now upon the two new animes to me that I've been watching, mostly because I kind of just sort of picked up a show called, two new shows. One called Kuroko's Basketball, and the other one's I Want to Be the Strongest. I think that's the whole title. But in terms of those two animes, and I probably might start reviewing them both. But the thing is, though, is that like for Kuroko's Basketball, as you can tell, it's a show about basketball, and for I Want to Be the Strongest, it's a show about female wrestling. Now, I'm a type of person who can watch basically any anime and just sort of just take it to like a serious note or whatever the show sort of demands, but in terms of these two shows, just going from episode one, they're pretty some interesting thing. I mean, like I like the way how both of them start in terms. Well, now for one, for I Want to Be the Strongest, I get way more of a feeling from another anime that I've watched, and as one sports anime, and then the other one is most likely way more high tension, way more misdirection-y than how the other one is. Than how the other animes that I've watched. In terms of Kuroko's Basketball, as it stands, you would assume that, as I've watched the first episode of that, you would assume that necessarily the character named Kuroko, since his name is in the title, that he would be the center of attention and would be the main character, which necessarily he is, but at the same time, it's like he isn't, because his whole thing is like his whole thing is that he's a basketball player, but at the same time he's like a below average player. Thing is though is that reason why I say I'm a below average is because he has subpar running. He can't shoot really. He can't necessarily like make it past players easily. He can't really do any of this. However, he does have one little keen ability. His ability is necessarily to pass the ball. Like he's possibly one of the best passers in the league, and necessarily he has a special little pass that he does, which he has the ability to draw the attention away from himself, which kind of elevates how much of a useful player he is, because nobody necessarily notices him. So mostly he can come out of nowhere and just switch the direction of the ball or whatever. I mostly like Kuroko's Basketball. Not only because of his main character, Kuroko, who most likely is like, yeah, I may not be a good player, but my skills are more for elevating the other players. He mostly has a team play style in terms of like, yeah, man, my style is I'm gonna help out my other team members who are better players than me with my passing ability, because nobody really notices me and they go for the ace of our team. So that's kind of how that goes. And it's an interesting show, and it's an interesting concept. I didn't even get into them talking about like he's from the generation of miracles, one of the top basketball teams in Japan, and that was in middle school, and all six of the members, because he was a sixth man, all six of them moved on to high school, and that's where our story picks up that. In terms of Want to Be the Strongest, it was a little difficult for me to watch the first episode of that. Mostly because, I don't know why, but it was super difficult for me to watch it, solely because, I guess possibly because my friends who do watch it, they kind of hyped it up to a point, which I don't I don't know about you, but I don't like it when people hype things up for me and tell me that like I need to watch this or like I need to do that. I really don't like that because it's sort of like how people whenever they hype something up and then man it doesn't live up to like it doesn't blow you away, or like you kind of like think like a few steps ahead of it and then be like, well, yeah, I've seen this before. It's something else. And they're like, no, it's not. It's completely different. That's kind of how difficult it was for me to watch this, because I'm seeing a lot of another show that I used to watch in this one. I'm not going to name it, but I'll see it in that. But that's not a bad thing, though. I still like the show. I still like how the starting episode started. However, some of the things, given with how when I watched the other show, then I watched this one, you know what? Forget it. It's Hajime no Ippo. I watched the first episode of Hajime no Ippo, then I watched the first episode of this. It's sort of the same, except for the girl's an idol, and there's nothing wrong with her being an idol which most of this sort of started because she's an idol. Her friend is basically jealous of her because she was better than her. I forget most of their names. It's the first episode, but mostly her friend was jealous and was basically trying to say, yeah, I'm better than you and I can do whatever you can do, so on and so forth, because show starts off with her being crowned head idol. Then it goes to their other thing, which is sort of like, yeah, I don't want nobody to them doing their little I think it was like a what was it? It was an event which like, yeah, man, show the idols up there like doing like the pro wrestling circuit thing, and then which leads to them meeting one of the renowned characters who's going to be like a pivotal point of like a later point in the show, or at least elevates one of our main characters to becoming pro. And the whole thing is centered around like, well, yeah, her character is all about, it's all about like, yeah, man, I'm about to like go up there, man, and show her that, yeah, man, even us idols, we man can like deal with somebody who basically trains like rigorously upon like physical harm. We can basically beat them too using just our idol abilities and stuff like that. And that isn't a problem for the show, but then it elevates to like, yeah, it's one battle to like our other main, it goes from her friend trying to like show her up to our main character saying like, yeah, even though I may lose, I'm still going to stand up for my friend, which is a noble thing. But at the same time, it's sort of like, it kind of paints that whole little brash thing of like, I'm not going to easily like her character. And it's not because she's standing up for a friend. It's how she's standing up for her friend and for her little group and stuff. I get it, but yeah, that show's a little difficult for me to watch. Kind of because I'm kind of reading a little bit too much into like everything that they do in that one. And it's not helped with all the shameless shots they make to all the female body parts and so on and so forth. However, given with that, I still like both shows. I didn't talk as much about Kuroko's basketball because for that one, it's mostly about one main character who most likely came from a glorious basketball team, went into a new high school, and mostly he kind of met this brand new player who was better than everybody there, and basically he's there using his passing ability and his misdirection basketball to basically sort of like help his friend out and make him better. In terms of the other show, it's mostly about, yeah, man, here's this girl who was an idol who got beat up in the wrestling ring, and now, man, because the girl, man, who beat her, man, she said, man, like, man, a few bad things about, man, her idol. Her idol team. She now wants to like show her up and basically show that, yeah, man, I can beat you just using my idol training, which isn't a problem, but we still haven't gotten to the training yet. Still gonna keep it up though. Those are the 2 new animes that I checked out. If you want to check out Kuroko's Basketball or Want to Be the Strongest, if you aren't watching them now, you definitely, man, should. They're both pretty good, and they are the elevating thing, man, that is sort of keeping me into anime. Or at least there are some interesting things about them. So yeah, keep that up, alright? Thanks for watching.